Good evening, good morning, good whatever it is, wherever you are. It's Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. You know what? This was a last minute idea. We'll wait a little bit, see if any people join, see what's going on. Um, it's just all going to be a course of whether there'll be enough participation. Again, you know, we got so many comments, so many questions that our video didn't answer that we actually had answers for. That we decided I would do the live stream so that other people could see what's going on. So we'll see if anybody joins and we'll take it from there. I'll answer as many questions about it as I can. I'll talk to you about what we've seen. And you know what? We'll throw in some other walking street news as well, tidbits of information. But I think what's more important is to get your ideas, your comments, what your thoughts are on how people are spending their money. Our thoughts are pretty simple, to be honest with you. Our thoughts are, hey, more power to you. There are channels that particularly point out how expats go broke by overspending. But shouldn't that really be dumbasses go broke by overspending anywhere? Do you have to be an expat to overspend? I don't think so. Good morning, John. How are you? Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us this morning. Oh, one of my good haters is here already with a thumbs down and haven't even started. They just don't like me. Good deal. I appreciate it. Every thumb you give pushes this video out, up or down. So, whatever it is what it is. On the other hand, there are probably people that don't like us, and we're not for everybody. That's for sure. Now, with all of that being said, the topic is this guy that we watched drop somewhere between 4 and 600,000 pesos the other night. And we're going to tell you about how we got more information about it, what we learned about the guy, and we're going to ask you what your opinions are on it. I think that those are pretty reasonable things to discuss because there's so many comments, so many thoughts about what could have been going on or what was going on. Personally, we just, like I said, we feel it's a good thing to do whatever it is you want to do, to spend your money however you want to spend it. And what we also found out is he's not the only guy that's dropping big bucks on Walking Street. And we can't attest to what they're spending the money on, but we definitely, there we go. We definitely have an idea, as does everybody else. But we'd like to know what your thoughts are about it. We'd like to know how you feel about it. All right, 2 thumbs down. What more could I ask for? And we haven't even started. That's great. It kills me. It absolutely kills me. Obviously, we have people who do not care for us, and that's fine. You know what? Jealous YouTubers and jealous subscribers and jealous everything else. But it is what it is. 3 thumbs down. Great. 4 thumbs down. Even better. Wow, we're racking them up this morning, huh? Charlie Nelson says he may have been billed for $550K, but I don't believe all the services were actually given. He got scammed, but it sounds like he didn't care. I don't know how you think he got scared, Charlie. Scammed. I don't know. Um, how do you think he got scammed? We saw them delivering drinks and beers. Okay, we saw them doing it. So how that happened, I just don't know. Jack Wolfanger. Good morning from Duma, Mike. Well, hey, Jack, how are you? Thank you for the thumbs up. We appreciate it. That's for sure. Mike Simpson. Hey, hello. If you've got it, spend it. And that's kind of like our thoughts a little bit, okay? Our thoughts are if you, the whole idea behind being retired, the whole idea behind even not being retired, how about the whole idea behind going to work every day is enjoying your life? Isn't that what part of it is? Wow. I tell you, they've got a hard one for us today. 7 thumbs down. Isn't that incredible? Somebody's got a man. Should this be a conspiracy theory? Good for them. We hope so. The thumbs up and down help it no matter what. It all goes into the algorithm. Good evening from Anchorage, Alaska, Mike. Back in the world. Hey, Dave, how are you doing? I had the pleasure of meeting up with Dave last week and his friend, and it was great. We had a great time meeting with Dave, and Arlen and I both had a good time. I'm glad to know that you're back in Alaska, safe and sound, survived the trip, and Dave did smash an absolutely jumbo-sized mango margarita. We met up over at Tequila Reef. Brian Hatcher, I thought this was 550,000 US dollars. It's a good chunk of change, but not near as 500. No, it's not nowhere near. But I mean, to drop 500,000 pesos, okay, in a bar in Angeles City, that's a very exceptional amount. That's like you going to Vegas and dropping in on Spearmint Rhino or Sapphire and dropping 40 grand. That's really what that's like. Okay. Dropping 10 grand at US dollars at Spearmint Rhino, that's a heavy night. Or at Sapphire, that's a heavy night, but that's not an exceptional night. 550,000 pesos here, that's an exceptional night. And we found out a lot more to it, to be very honest with you. So I guess, we've got 26 in the room. I'll get started because I know it's Saturday night. You either want to be spending time with your family, spending time with your friends, watching TV, or getting laid, one or the other. This may not be exactly how you expect to spend your Saturday night or your Sunday morning in the Philippines. Okay, so Arlen and I and some friends went out to dinner. We go out to dinner, and I've got to drop by one of the bars to talk to the bar manager. Now, we are setting up different things with different bars for Halloween night. I'm over there. If you've seen the video, we're over there, and the door is closed to get in, and it's about 7:30. But we know the manager really well. He told us straight up, guy bought the bar out, but you can come in. We know you guys really well. So we go in. So on stage, they've got about 25 girls or so, 20, 25. Okay. And then scattered around the floor, on the floor, it's a fairly large bar. There's probably another 20 girls. And it's like, man, I don't think I've ever seen this many girls out of the back at one time. In fact, I was kind of shocked to know that there were that many girls that worked there. Then you've got the wait staff, you've got security, 4 or 5 guys. Then you've got the bar staff, the DJ, ancillary, all of those. And the music is blaring loud, and there's a ton of screaming and yelling, and these girls are just going wild. I mean, wild. Now, with that being said, what happens is that we start to look and see what's actually going on. So you've got 3 guys, okay? You've got 2 guys sitting together. One of them is apparently, without a doubt, the guy that's in charge of this event. He's in his late 40s, mid 50s, well-dressed, casually well-dressed. He is well-kept. You know, his hair's perfect, everything. Clothes are all pressed. And he's throwing money all over the place. So if you've been in these bars, you know you can ring the bell. And when you ring the bell, it's buying a drink for every girl on stage. All right. So we did some calculations. Well, first off, we found out later, it's not a drink for every girl on stage. This guy was ringing the bell and buying everybody in the bar, except us, a drink. All the employees in the bar. The wait staff, the DJ, the security guys, the door girls, and all the bar girls, whether they're on stage or not. You know, even the guy that, you know, keeps the bathroom clean. Okay? So we sat down and we figured it out. He's dropping somewhere around, I don't know, but, you know, I actually wrote it all down and figured it out based on the minimum amounts. Okay. And what I mean by minimum amounts is, you know, I didn't count every girl, but I'm looking. So based on some lower averages, but he's dropping about almost 100,000. I mean, he's ringing this bell every 10 minutes or so. He's buying drinks nonstop. Okay. So all told, throughout the course of the time, now we left the bar because the music was super loud. We came back 2.5 hours later. Now, he'd already been there for an hour before we got there. So he's there for 3.5 hours, and he was slowly making his way out with his bar hop girls. So he bar hopped or bar shared about another 10 to 15 girls, about 15. Okay? So let me answer a couple of questions because I promised I would. Whoops. Let's redo that. Okay, Dave says I can think of better ways to spend, but at the bar, different strokes, different folks. Yeah, absolutely. Scene wants to know, were we with Ace? No, we were not with Ace. We don't bar hop with Ace. Okay. Ed Lippett, how you doing, Ed? Hope you're doing well. Manager made some good money, probably charged double for drinks. Well, I actually have some information about what he charged, which I'll share with you shortly. Okay. No, Matthew, we did not spend $550K. This was on a foreigner, an American. Okay. Now, let's see here. Just trying to get some of these questions. It wasn't TJ. No, it wasn't. We wouldn't associate. You wouldn't be able to find us in the same room that TJ from Expat Kings is in. Okay. Matthew says, I heard it was Andy Omar. Trust me, we know Andy, and it would not have been Andy Omar. Okay. Eric says, most of those drinks end up in the drain. It's possible. We saw girls drinking. I don't know how much they drank. And I know that he's ringing this bell left and right. And as far as the bar is concerned, they don't give a shit. And if the guy doesn't give a shit, he's just buying them. Why should he care? Okay. Let's see here. Mad's Junkyard Expats. Did you ring the bell to have your current wife come out? No, Mads, I didn't. My wife doesn't work there. So that would have been physically impossible, wouldn't it? But I think your wife was there. Matt says Ace is a good blogger. Yeah, Ace is a fine guy. I just talked to him the other day. He's a nice guy, but that's not what this is really about. Michael from Cebu is heading to Boracay. All right. I hope you have a great time there. Matthew wants to know, was it Tim K? Nah, it was not Tim K. Hogan, hello from New Zealand. All right. Where is the ROI on the 550K? I have no idea, Freedom Choice. I don't own the bar. I couldn't begin to tell you what the ROI is from the bar's perspective. And I don't know what the guy ended up with for the end of the night. Because not the guy. So let's go on. Anyways, we come back, like I said, about 2 hours later, 2.5 hours later. All right. So now he's into this for going on 4 hours. Okay. And he is still doing this, but now he's tipping out. So now he's handing out a lot of cash, just saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Every girl that we saw him chatting with on stage, on the floor, the waitresses, every employee, they were all getting tipped as well. So they're earning commissions on drinks, all right, and they're getting tipped. This guy is definitely adding to the local economy for sure. And if you've got the money, why not? Okay. I just don't see a problem. But we do get so many of these people that say, well, you know, expats go broke because they spend needlessly. Well, that may be true. That may absolutely be true. In fact, it is absolutely true. But not all do. And some certainly have the money to do it. I don't know how else to say it. Matthew, I'm not sure what your question's about, but if you'll repeat it, maybe I missed it. So, anyways, I made a return trip after the video that we posted. I wanted to sit down, and I did, with the manager. Okay? And I did sit down with him, and he filled me in on some of the additional. Remember, I told you there were 3 guys, 2 of them sitting together, and they had like about 10 girls, 11, 12, 15 girls at their area. And then there was another guy who had like 3, 4 girls, and much more reserved. Well, it turns out the guy sitting by himself was part of the other 2 guys, security. And while he didn't look, I don't remember him looking like a big, imposing guy. And I do remember security being very tight with respect to the bar's security. They were very watchful. You could see they had their eye on a lot of things. So what we didn't say in the video was it was, number 1, an American. Number 2, that was not his first bar doing that week. Matthew says something Chubb's dub. No, this was not a blogger. Okay? This guy was not a blogger. There were no cameras out there, nobody watching, and you haven't seen anything on YouTube with video footage of it because there wasn't any. All right. Keep in mind that these bars are private businesses and they don't allow video. Now, I know people have snuck videos in there, but no. So, either way, we learned a few more things. This guy has dropped and done this at 2 other bars that week, because this happened on a Sunday night, if I remember correctly. All right. And he had done it at 2 other bars earlier during the week. And we know he's bar sharing quite a few girls, because by the time he cleared out and we cleared out, we go outside and we see him and his 2 buddies walking down the street, surrounded by and followed by, 15 girls at least. So, I mean, when you figure the bar share on 15 girls, you figure the minimum you're going to tip them on the bar share. When you figure you're going through $95,000 an hour ringing the bell, all right? When you figure tip out, when you figure in all of these different things, he's dropping somewhere between 450, 550,000 pesos. Now, Mike says, if you don't have anyone to leave your wealth to, well, why not? Knowing the government's just going to get it one day, rather be a stopper and get it. And I mean, oh, wow, we have 42 in here. That is now a record. Thank you very much for everybody that's dropping by. So he's dropping, and at that bar on that night, he dropped somewhere between 450 and 550,000 to the best way possible. Ed said he thought, maybe he's getting charged for doubles, because most of you don't realize this. A lady drink is a half shot. When you buy a lady drink, that's a half shot, unless you're buying a beer. Okay? So a full lady drink is actually double price because it's a full shot. So, I don't know. I do know that they don't water those down. They got caught doing that years and years ago, and the pushback was so horrible. None of the bars, in my opinion, would dare screw around with that. And I know that our drinks come pretty well loaded. Andy says, Chubbs, dude, soon will barely have 2 pesos to rub together. I don't know. Chubb seems to be doing okay, Andy. I don't know. We don't get involved in their people's finances. 44, a whole new record. Thank you so much. There's a couple of other YouTubers I would think that would be more in that situation, Andy, than Chubbs. Americans messing it up for the rest of us, inflating bar prices. Now every Filipino will expect this. Big deal. They're not going to. I don't think so, Timmy. I don't, because this doesn't happen every week. This doesn't happen. I mean, I'm going to tell you, in the years that we've been going to the bars, okay, we've never seen this happen. Never. So it's not that frequent. We've heard of it. Don't get me wrong. We've heard of it, but never seen it. Matthew, did he try and bar fine Arlen? No, he did not. Of course not. All right. Andy says the Korean bars do water drinks down, especially customer drinks. And that may be the case. We don't go to many Korean bars. Okay? Just going to be straight up with you. We don't. Nothing to it. But let's continue with more of the information that we picked up. So what happens is we talk to the manager now a third time about the guy. We find out he's American. We find out he does not live in Angeles, that he is a business guy from the U.S., that he has been in Angeles before, okay? And and he knows them. This particular manager has been a bar manager on Walking Street for about 10 years. So, is what it is. We do know he had a security guy with him. That's what we were told. We do know that he had done this at several bars prior to this during the week, more than one. We do know that they were all non-Korean bars. He did not do this at a Korean bar that our information had any information about. That doesn't mean he didn't do it. It just means, hey, you know what? We don't know. That's what it means. It means that we didn't get any information. Matthew, you have a slight problem this morning with other people. Why do you keep saying it's these other bloggers? I will repeat this to you. It was not a blogger. Okay? Michael Ataz, I think this is a case of someone who won the lottery or inherited a lot of money. Soon a fool with free money will know his handiwork again when he can't from kitty cats. Okay, now let's think about that for a minute. We all make this worst case, we make worst case probabilities. Why can't we simply say this guy was a successful business guy who made money and is enjoying it? Why does he have to be someone who just fell into money? And how do we know he can't afford it? Why can't he afford it? Mike Masters says, the Korean bars I've been in don't water down lady drinks. I always sample their lady drink when I buy one. Okay? I don't. That's for sure. But Mike's been around quite a bit, actually, and I'm glad that Mike dropped in. I was hoping Mike would comment and let his, he's been around bars even longer than we have, and in more places here. He may have better information on what typical and atypical bar buyouts are. Because I've been told by the managers there are different things where you can actually shut down the bar and make it your own private party. But that is what it is. So what are the reporting requirements from the U.S. feds for either bringing in large sums of money, dollars by plane or wire transfers? You do have to declare with customs if over 10,000. Well, we don't have bringing into the Philippines. We don't report shit to the Fed, U.S. feds. We have to report. We have to fill out a little form when it's over 10 grand, saying why. And all I've ever put in there, what I've put in is either allowance, which works just fine, or I put in property purchase. That's all we ever say to the bank, and how they report it, I have no idea. Into the U.S., we don't know. We don't move money into the U.S. All of our money is made in the U.S., so we don't have any idea about that. Dave says a fool and his money are soon parted. Well, that's probably true, But on the other hand, what if he's got plenty of money? What if 10 grand just doesn't mean that much to him? I mean, I'll be honest with you. Haven't you ever been to Vegas? Spending 10 grand at Sapphire, Spearmint Rhino, one of a half a dozen other topless bars in Vegas is not uncommon. A night out, bottle service at the Wynn, you can drop $5,000 before you pour your first drink. So, I mean, just because it's here doesn't make it negative, does it? I don't think so. Don't get me wrong. We don't believe that it is a financially, fiscally sound thing to do. And the talent pool at Spearmint Rhino or Sapphire or the club scene at the Wynn is way superior to anything you're going to come across here. But it is what it is. Andy says the drinks that I get at Korean bars are weak. So definitely they won't give it the same strength to the girls. And that's a big possibility, Andy. It really and truly is. Brian's Hatcher says the same thing. 10K is not that much money for some people. And it's not. It's one thing to say that's a lot of money. It's another thing to say I just wouldn't spend my money that way. I can tell you that when we owned a topless bar in Phoenix, and if the Diamondbacks or the opposing team to the Diamondbacks or the Suns or the opposing team to the Suns would drop in to our bar, okay, we'd have $100,000 night. Just that simple. So, 10K is not that big. But how you would do that, is it fiscally responsible enough? Doesn't that really depend on how much money you got and what your goals are? Bill Welsh. Hi, Mike. How you doing, Bill? Glad to see you could make it. Todd. How you doing, Todd? Hope everything going well for you. I didn't realize this your first live stream. Wow. I didn't realize that. Andy says, I'm a rum and coke guy. Well, you know what, Andy? So am I. I'm a Captain Morgan Diet Coke guy. Michael says, I've seen so many family businesses make it 3 generations and go out of business. By this time, the kids are so spoiled, they don't want to work, piss the money away. It's possible. Anything's possible. And I think that's what I'm trying to get across, is anything is possible. This could have been a, spoiled rich brat. This could have been a guy that hit the lottery. This could have been a guy that worked his ass off and developed software and made a fortune. This could have been a guy that was a stockbroker and trader. He could have been anything. And to make an assumption, that's a little bit different. Bryce, which bar was it, if you don't mind telling us the name? You know what, Bryce? I wish I could, but I can't. Let me tell you our policy. The reason we get the good information that we get, and the reason the bar managers and the bar girls and everything else are good friends, is they all know we don't specify people or places. We just don't do it. And the reason we don't do it is because, we don't know all the owners. We know a few of them, but we know most all the bar managers. And we know a lot of girls, and we don't want to get them to a point where they don't trust us with information. So we're very careful about it, Bryce. I'm sorry. I wish we could. I know a lot of people want to know. I just will tell you it was not a Korean bar. I'm sorry. Bulldog. Hi, watching at home. Did you get my email, mate? Yes, I think I did. I thought I answered it, Bulldog. I was pretty sure I did. Check your email. Let me know if you didn't get it. Todd, had I won the big lottery, I would not have spent money like that. And I think that goes to show you that it's a difference. There's a big difference to, what we find viable. I mean, we can afford to go to a bar and do that once a month if we wanted to. As somebody else said earlier, it's not really that big amount of money, but it's not something that we would do. It's just not, it goes against my financial responsibility and fiscal responsibility. Matt Towers, Aussie Vapor. Good day, Mike. First live. Good to see you. Enjoy your videos. Can't wait to get back to see my missus after Christmas. Oh, great. We hope to see you. That's for sure. Let us know if you're in town. That's for sure. And thanks for showing up for the live. Brian Hatcher, just subbed to the channel. Thank you, Brian. Thank you very much. Been watching us for a while. Like the fact you're a straight shooter and you don't back down from anyone. You know what, Brian? It's not that I'm argumentative. I really and truly am not. But I don't take shit stupidly. In other words, if you have something negative to say it. You're entitled to their opinion. You'll notice very, very infrequently will I take comments out of the comment section. I let the negative stuff stay up. We're not afraid of that kind of stuff by any way, shape, or form. We believe everybody's entitled to their opinion. And more so, we believe we learn from everybody's opinions. But with that being said, we're not argumentative. We're just straight, simple, down-to-earth people. Bulldog says he'll check. All right. Brewer fan, hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? How's life treating you this morning? Hoppa. Man, if I had 10K US dollars to spend, 90% would go to the wife and daughter, and 10% would go into a greenhouse to grow more chili peppers. There you go. And that's what I'm saying. You can have the money. And you have a different perspective as to where to spend the money. But that doesn't make somebody else that's different bad. And that's the bottom line. Just because somebody chooses to do that doesn't make them wrong. Maybe if, say, you're in, let's say, well, you know what? Let's just say you're living on a pension of $1,500 a month and you spend 10 grand. Well, that's wrong. Okay. Not unless you know you're going to be dying or something. Hector says this is not the whale's first rodeo. He has FU money 1,000 times over. It's possible, Hector. It's very, very possible. What we did learn was, you're right, it wasn't his first rodeo. He had done this at several bars earlier in the week, and we learned that he's a known presence. Okay? That they knew this guy. Where's Arlene? She's rarely seen. Actually, there's a video with Arlene. The next video that we will post is 99% of Arlene. We had a very funny conversation laying in bed the other day. Arlene has some freaky, crazy dreams, and this was about it. So watch the next video that drops. It's on her dreams. And You know, a lot of times, like this morning, Arlene's over in Pompong. She went to the market. And then we've got a couple of other things. You know, we just stay busy. And sometimes Arlene's a little shy sometimes. I guess that's the best word I could use for it. So, anyways, what we did learn, not his first trip, not his first time, wasn't his first rodeo. Hector's absolutely correct, number one. Number two, what we also learned was that he did it at several bars prior to this, and he's been to Walking Street before. So he's been to the Philippines before. We learned he's an American. We learned he is a businessman. That's the best definition that I was given, that he's a business guy. Okay? Good morning, Ruby. How are you? Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. For those of you that don't know Ruby, she's a straight up smart Filipina. Absolutely. Breaking news, according to Michael, is the whale is Hunter Biden with his kickback money from the Ukraine. Was a crack pipe found? Now, I can tell you this. If he was Hunter Biden, then he had his hair dyed blonde, put on about 40 pounds, and, well, he was much better shaven than the photos I've seen of Hunter. That's for sure. But no, I don't think it was Hunter Biden, Mike. I really and truly don't. But that's what we did learn about the guy. All right. Yeah, Todd, I love Ruby's comments too. Sometimes she sets me straight. Sometimes she gives me great information. She's just all around great, period. But we learned all of that, and then we learned a little bit more. So what we also learned, and this is why I think the bar bill or the total bill for his experience at that bar with those girls exceeded $500,000. Maybe not by much, but we were told that every girl in the bar and every waitress, not just the performers or the entertainers, but also the waitresses, every one of them had a minimum tip of $2,000 pesos from him. So when you add that into the spreadsheet, now you're over the 500 and you're fast approaching the 550K pesos. In addition to that, he was very generous to the security guys, to the bartender, to the assistant manager, and to the manager. And I'm not going to go into it in case somebody figures it out how much money the manager got, but it was nice. It was a nice tip for the manager, trust me. It was a good deal. So we know it. But again, we go back and we say, if not, then why not? I mean, we can say we can say from our point of view, in our financial position, and our financial position is pretty reasonable, okay? 10,000 US dollars is excessive beyond what we would do to just party with girls and a buddy or two, okay? It's excessive to us. But if this guy's got, tens of millions of dollars, if he's got tons of the money, if he found out he's got metastatic cancer last week and he's got less than 6 months to live and he has no family to leave his money to, or he's a selfish prick and he's going to spend all his money instead of leaving it to anybody, well, that's his prerogative. That's his thoughts. That's where he's at with it. Hector says he must have a Philippine connection, business, family, friend, or whatever. It's possible, Hector. I don't know. Like I said, we didn't rain on this guy's parade by interrupting him. They were having a great time. we didn't want to interfere, and we didn't want the manager to see us as an intrusion into this guy spending money. So we didn't talk physically to him. All right. Not going to lie about it. I'm going to tell you, anybody that says they spoke to this guy while he was buying out that bar is wrong. And I can tell you that I know exactly where he went afterwards, and he only spent about 30 minutes there. So it is just simply what it is. Okay. I don't know how many of the bar share girls went home with them. I don't know. And I didn't ask. I probably could have found out, but it really wasn't any of my business. All right? It really and truly wasn't. Andy says people can't comprehend he's simply rich. Absolutely. I mean, that's the honest truth. I had a comment talking about, no millionaires and, millionaires don't do this and stuff like that. And so, it's just bullshit money. And then I said, well, hold on a minute. Let's take a look at one right here that we personally know who is a multimillionaire, lives in Angeles, a foreigner, and that's Mark Savino, who is the primary principal behind all of Candy Resorts. This guy is on Walking Street at least every month, and he's dropping huge amounts. So Andy's right. All right? People can simply be rich. He could have rented a place, bar fine 15 girls, spent a ton on alcohol and S&R and less than $3K, and the $7K was showing off. Yeah, he could have, but he wouldn't have had as much fun maybe. I don't know. Maybe it was just more convenient. I don't know, Todd. I wish I had an answer. I wish I could tell you what was behind this guy's thought process, but I can't. I really and truly cannot. And for that, there's nothing I can do. Bill says, yeah, that's pretty much how I see it too, Andy. Yeah, people are right. There are rich people living here in Angeles, and there are a ton of even richer people in the Philippines. Timmy says 550,000. That's a lot of peck. Yes, Timmy, it is. But that's not what he was buying. He didn't spend it on that. He spent it on the vast majority of it on drinks and tips. So I've never been to these type of bars here in the Philippines. So I've questioned about the tips. Do the girls keep 100% or does it? Does the bar get 1%? No, the girls keep 100% of the tips in the bars that we know about. To the best of my knowledge, I don't know about the Korean bars, but to the best of my knowledge, their commissions and their tips are theirs. They don't share those. Ruby says, I'm saving $20,000 for a European trip, which is in my bucket list. Experience and adventures worth spending. Absolutely, Ruby. And you see what I'm saying? Your priorities and goals are somewhere else. His priorities and goals are, somewhere along the Rue de Moorish. All right? It's just that simple. You can spend $1,000 on dinner in New York. Absolutely. Dinner for 4, I once dropped a little over $5,000 for dinner for 4 in Chicago. Okay? Business expense, but still. And that included a couple good bottles of wine. Hector says, too boring to say He's just rich. Need vloggers and chismis to come up with theories and stories to keep the storyline going. Ah, Hector, you know us. You know that's not who we are. And trust me, it's already started. Okay? I woke up this morning to a couple of emails telling me about another channel already, spewing chismis and gossip out. And that's fine. We don't care. You know what? Whatever they want, it's all a storyline. It's all about what it is. If they can make money off of it, good for them. Hoppa. Maybe that guy will use it as a tax write-off for business expenses. It's possible. It is possible. Maybe he can use it for entertainment. So in the U.S., that'd be a 50% deduction. Entertainment. You'd get 50% of it. Now, he better have some backup receipts for that audit. But let's say he's got a $10 million a year company. A $10,000 expense is nothing. Absolutely nothing. All right? It really and truly is. Ruby says, Hoppa, we're thinking on the same line. Yeah. He can use it as a write-off. He can do whatever he wants. But keep in mind, whatever you write off, you have to earn also. In other words, you can't write off money you didn't earn at one point. So he's made money. The guy had money. There's no doubt about it. Okay? Now, like I said, maybe he found out last week he's going to be dead in 6 months. Who knows? Maybe he just, he just went through the world's worst divorce, which really doesn't make sense because they know this guy. He's been on Walking Street before. This was not his first rodeo. All right? So we don't know. We don't know the answer to that. What we do know is he spent it. I had a comment that says, well, how do you pay for it? Credit cards, whatever. No, they don't take credit. Actually, a couple of the bars will take credit cards, believe it or not. But they're not going to take credit cards like that. Okay? Think of it for a second. You get pesos, 100,000 pesos is a stack about this thick. You can easily fit that into a sling bag. You can put 1 million pesos in a sling bag and it's not that big a deal. So, Andy says, yeah, the other channel that gets third-hand info, Drama Channel's talking about it on their live right now. Oh, good for them. More power to them. I hope they have a good live. Whatever. They can talk about it all they want. Nobody owns the information. We just happen to be there when it happened. Bryce says, was it Matthew Perry, the famous actor who played Chandler from the sitcom Friends? Because apparently he was found dead in his jacuzzi in Los. Really? Bryce? Matthew Perry was found dead today? I didn't see that. And I just looked at the news maybe 2 hours before this live. Wow, I'll have to look that up. Hector says, but Mike, you were a witness and other vloggers will use hearsay and third party. You know what? That's YouTube. Let them, that is, remember how I said, and I put out a video, it didn't do well, about how you choose the vloggers you watch? Well, there you go. There's something that you consider. Will you continue to watch people that do that kind of stuff? It's more entertainment than it is valuable information. But you know something? Maybe they have information I don't have. Who knows? I doubt it. I know the waitresses. I know the manager. Okay? So, and we were there. We'll see. Andy says, so true, Hector. That other channel is annoying. Well, all right. Keith Perkins, yup. I'm not sure what you're yupping about. Oh, Matthew Perry. Yes, 54 years old and drowned, Todd. Wow. Shit, that sucks. Wow. Keith wants to know, is that the real Andy Omar? Yes, Keith, that is the Andy Omar. We know Andy personally. We have met Andy a couple of times. Nice guy. I'm telling you, that terrible, terrible reputation people give him is just bullshit. He is a straight up guy. All right. And that is Andy. We know what we know how he is. We'll just leave it at that. Andy goes, yeah, but regardless if you own it or not, you were the witness and it's unspoken vlogger etiquette. Even I don't violate that. You know what, Andy? Some people need the money. That's what it really boils down to. Some people are really financially strapped, and every little penny matters to them. It is what it is, and we can't, you have people that make money like Tim K who really don't need it. Okay? And then you have people who are barely eking by, and you just wish them, you just wish them the best. Who cares? They're not going to take subscribers from me. That's for sure. And I'm sure they won't mention our name because they don't want anybody going to our channel. But, it is what it is. In fact, I'll bet you that if you went into their channel and said, hey, Mike and Arlen from Philippine Journey, all right, they're the ones that were actually there doing it. I bet you that comment never makes it. Mike says, gotta run, enjoy your day. You too, Mike. Have a great day. Keith Perkins, myocarditis. Wow. I don't know. That's if he just died today, that's a pretty quick diagnosis. I'd be interested to see. You know what? I need to look it up. Andy says, Todd, how did Matthew know Hillary Clinton? I got no idea. What's up? Love them. Great. How much would one of those bars cost to buy? Actually, I will tell you there is 2 for sale right now. The old Body Shop, which is on the back side of Walking Street, is for sale. And there was another bar for sale, but it's my understanding he's already been taken care of. And how much would it cost? I don't know. I would imagine 5 to 7 times earnings would be a reasonable number, but it could be as high as 10 or 12. When we sold ours, it was a mix because we owned the entire city block. It was a small city block, okay? But we owned the entire block, which had a 7-Eleven, the bar, and a strip mall, small, like 7-spaced strip mall on it. And so because it was real estate and everything else, the numbers were much different, Todd. So I couldn't give you an idea, to be honest. Mitch says, hope you're doing well, Andy. Brian says, according to TMZ, Matthew Perry was found in his jacuzzi in his backyard. Wow. What a way to go. Keith says, I only watch you and Andy. Been watching for a long time. Well, I can tell you we appreciate it, and I'm sure Andy does as well. Andy says, thanks, Mitch. I'm great. Todd says, Andy, I get it. Mitch says, I subscribe and I enjoy and subscribe to this channel for the positive attitude. Most PI channels full of negativity and drama. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Mitch. Yeah, we try. We do get involved in some drama once in a while. But with that in, no, we try and stay away from it. We really and truly do. And we just tell it like it is. There's all kinds of positive stuff about the Philippines, but we do tell the negative stuff as well. Difficult to gauge value with the last few years. Yeah, Copal, it really is. I don't know how you would take a look when they were closed for so long. The tourist really hasn't reevaluated the way it was. There's more competition. I would say it's difficult to value a bar on Walking Street right now. The Body Shop was a good inside joke with my friends. Mute girl, one missing eye, another missing some appendage. Yeah. Okay, Andy. I got to tell you, it's. I don't think I've been in Body Shop. It's been like for several years pre-pandemic. So I haven't been in there in 5 years at least. So I couldn't really tell you a whole lot about it other than it must not have impressed me very much to begin with. Otherwise, would have gone there more often. So, but all in all, that's the information we've got. That's the additional information. That's how we feel about it. And with that being said, I want to tell you, all of you, thank you so much for dropping in. Thank you so much for your comments and your thoughts. And if you're watching this in replay, please do consider subscribing and hit that thumbs up. Otherwise, we're going to tell all of you, we hope you have a great, great night. Take care.